Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the PSGL YouTube channel. It is F5 once again. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We had an issue getting the race underway, and it unfortunately stopped my broadcast at the same time. But no worries, we are back now, and we are ready to do a take two of the opening to the F5 race here at Monza, round number 7. We appear to have lost somebody. As well, we had 14 drivers before. We now have 13. I'm just trying to work out who indeed that was. So bear with me a second while I work on that. But to quickly recap on the qualifying session, Gavin took a commanding pole ahead of Leon in second. We had Matt in third and Nino in fourth. So that is how we're going to line up here. And I will try to work out quickly who we've actually lost, because we know we are down a driver from before. I just can't quite work out at the moment quite who that is. Let's see. Oh, it's Cymix, who is not here. So we've lost him. He was due to start at the back of the grid. Anyway, so that doesn't change the grid per se. And off they go once again on their outlap, but hopefully this time things can go off without a hitch. Just a quick shout out as well to our partners, Brutal Democracy, who are an esports organisation who will be providing £250 worth of prize money across the top 3 tiers of PSGL. So thank you to them, and hopefully we can get the race underway this time. A few changes to this start anyway. Puma and Lewis we knew already were planning to start on the medium tyres, but Rataka and Hyde have also elected now to start on the mediums, and the first start they had gone for softs, so they've elected for a change in approach there. It will be interesting to see how that pays out for them. Of course, in F7 yesterday we actually saw that the timing of a safety car meant that those who ran the alternate strategy, it actually worked out pretty brilliantly for them. So they'll be hoping for similar things here. Just coming up now to the end of the outlap. And as before, I hope you're all doing well this evening. It's not been a completely disruption-free evening thus far, but hopefully now things can go off without a hitch. And we should have an exciting 27 laps ahead of us. How will those nerves be at the front of the grid? Obviously, they'll have hoped to have been underway by now. Will the front pairing of Gavin and Leon, will that affect them in this first lap of the race? We shall see. Leon's decided he wants to overtake Gavin already. But Gavin won't mind about that now, and as before, Gavin lines up on our right hand side, Leon on the left. All the cars should be in position very shortly, and once they are, we can go racing here at the Autodrome Nationale in Monza, round 7 of the F5 League. And all being well, the lights should be illuminating now, and when they go out, let battle commence here in Monza. It's a very good start from Gavin. He gets away very well and already has a jump actually on Leon, who's coming under threat from all angles. He's got Nino and Matt, I believe that is, attacking him. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Who's going to get the better of it? Oh, and Nino has to be pushed wide. There just wasn't room for 3 cars on the exit. Leon maintains second place, but he's still under threat from Matt behind. Furhan up into 4th place. And who's going to get the best run here into the second chicane? Matt's going down the inside, but thinks better of it. Oh, we've got an instant further behind. Hype Scholes, I believe that is, and Furhan have come together. And we're recovering to the track now. It looks like Scholes may have been a little too late on the brakes there. We, of course, have to get a better angle of it to know though for sure. But that's cost Scholes a few places. He's down to 7th. Furhan's actually got a penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place. So that's a very harsh penalty there, but that will affect him going forwards. He'll hopefully try and he'll maybe want to get that removed if he feels it's unfair after the race. But Gavin's got a 1 second buffer out front as Matt once again looks at getting past Matt. Matt looks again at getting past Leon rather, as Nino moves past Furhan and up into 4th place. Has Furhan got any damage, I wonder? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the straight there. Almost looked like Nino almost went into the Red Bull rather, but they've managed to keep it on the straight and narrow for now. Nino tries to outbrake him into the first chicane and does so. He maintains 4th with Furhan and Gelato slotted in behind him, and then Hype Shoals in 7th for his. Hype Shoals actually, I think Hype Shoals may have dropped back slightly actually. No, Hype Shoals is still there in 7th. I wondered which Ferrari it was, but it is Shoals up in 7th at the moment. All the drivers up to have got away from the hectic start pretty nicely indeed. But it's as you were at the front. Gavin leads Leon, and we've got Gelato who's right on the back of Furhan. And what's happened to Matt? Has Matt dropped down? Yeah, Matt's had a problem somewhere. He must have gone into the wall somewhere because he's got damage. So Matt, who was running in 3rd place, now drops to the back and will have to pit for a new front wing. And equally a new set of tyres as well. So that's a disaster for Matt. I wondered if someone had dropped down, and unfortunately it is Matt. So that really does scupper his chances of a good result here tonight. We're going to follow back on board now with Gelato, who's actually coming under threat from the Ferrari of Hype Shoals. Oh, and he's going to duck for the inside try. Ricardo-esque overtake, but that might go very wrong indeed. He's not going to make the chicane, and he will have to concede that place, which he does indeed on the exit. A very aggressive manoeuvre there from the Ferrari, but ultimately it just didn't pay off for him. Matt does indeed make a stop. That will hit his race. Heavily affected as Cortez now looks to make a move past the Ferrari. But Gavin's made the ideal start for him. He's now got a 1.5 second buffer out front, and Leon's controlling the pace pretty well in 2nd place at the moment. Of course, DRS will start to come into effect now, and that should make quite a bit of difference. It will certainly help Gavin, because Leon will not have DRS on him, and if anything, Leon will start to come under attack from Nino behind, as Nino runs very wide on the exit of Ascari, and it's what we mentioned previously, that in the race trim, high on fuel, the exit of Ascari can be very troublesome. The back end of a car always wanting to go away from you at that point of a corner, and if you lose it there's only one place you're going, and it's a wall, unfortunately. But that time around, Nino got away with it. We've got a battle further down. Looks like Kev is going to have a go at passing Cortez. He wants to be a good buffer for his teammate here. Kev moves down the inside. Oh, bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. Cortez doesn't want to give the place up, and Angeback keeps the position. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Nothing too sinister about that. And Cortez keeps the place, but has dropped back quite significantly from the battle ahead of him, and is in fact now gaining a bit of a train as well, with Lewis and Rataka right behind. Rataka doesn't really want to be stuck in this traffic, although on the alternate strategy it could work out for him later on, so he's just got to remain patient, as I'm sure he will, and see how things develop. Nino is just 0.5 second behind Leon. I get the feeling Leon will have some defending to do soon. Gavin looks like he's just got a bit too much pace for the AlphaTauri at this stage of the race. Got a 2 second buffer out front and just looks very, very comfortable right now, it has to be said. And not to mention that as well, Nino's got a problem because, Leon has a problem because he has a lot less ERS to use than Nino does. So Nino is going to be attacking the AlphaTauri here down the pit straight. You imagine he'll use some overtake mode. No, he doesn't. Interesting, so he's decided this isn't the time to make the move. Tries to show Leon that he's there. I don't think Leon needed reminding of that. But these drivers all slotting in nicely behind. We've got some movements further down, as I believe Lewis has now made his way past Kev. So Lewis up to 8th place on those medium tyres, and I wonder if there'll be any strategy taking place at Mercedes between Cortez and Lewis. The last thing I need is the two teammates coming together, as Leon doesn't get a great exit out the second chicane, and thankfully there's nowhere for Nino to go at the first Lesmo. So for now at least, he's pretty safe in that second spot, but he's got a real train gathering behind him. About 5 cars that have got DRS on him at the moment, and he can't get close enough to Gavin to get that aid himself. As Nino, who's yet to pick up a point this season, so things haven't gone well for Nino up to now, but he's looking very strong at this point of the race. Furhan coming under pressure from Gelato behind. That'll be one to watch out for as well, but, well, this is the closest Nino's been, and he's definitely using overtake on this occasion. I don't think Leon's going to have much to defend with here. Nino's in the slipstream. He's going to pull out very shortly. I've got to say, Leon has very good straight line speed, and if anything, that allows him to keep hold of second place for now. Nowhere for the racing point to go on this occasion. Lewis has made his way past Cortez up to 7th, so I wonder if a bit of team orders going on there at Mercedes, although clearly not, because they're still battling. So yeah, no team orders at all at Mercedes. And in fact, Lewis has got the move again done, but Cortez doesn't want to give this up. But looks like Lewis has made the move stick there, and he's up into 7th place on those medium compound tyres. It's working out pretty well for him. Ritaka's also passed Kevin up to 9th. And we've got a Gelato, who I think may have made a mistake coming out of second Lesmo, because he's lost a lot of time and he lost a position too to Hype Shoals. So Gelato moves down to 6th, maybe running slightly into the gravel at the exit of the second Lesmo. We're going to go back with a battle for second place. Nino stalking Leon somewhat now, but it has to be said they're dropping Furhan behind, so... Oh, and that's very wide on the exit of a Parabolica there for Nino. That won't give him the optimum exit. And we know already that Leon's got pretty strong straight line speed, so... As Gelato pits, so he must have picked... I wonder if he's picked up some damage as well. He may have gone slightly into the wall. Let's have a look. When he pits, has he got a new front wing ready? He has, yeah, so Gelato must have maybe hit the wall slightly as well. And that's going to mean he'll go onto hard tyres now, and he'll look to take those to the end of a race. But meanwhile, further up the field, it looks like that Leon has lost second place, and Nino has made the move stick on Leon. Nino up into P2, and he'll try and see now if he can pull away from the AlphaTauri somewhat. Hype Shoals has also passed Furhan and up into 4th as well, so to say Furhan's 3rd in the championship, he's not showing excellent pace at the moment. But here comes Leon, he's coming right back at Nino, but there's no way through into Ascari. Leon's an experienced racer, you know, he won't take any unnecessary risks. He knows at the moment he's in a very strong position, the best position he's been in since joining F5, so he knows not to throw all that away. And Nino doesn't look overly comfortable at this stage of the race, to be honest, with the car, so he knows if he just stays close to him, he's going to have an excellent opportunity here with his superior straight line speed. It's going to be an excellent chance for Leon to come back at the racing point. We're going to go side by side. Oh! And Hype Shoals has left the session, so his race is over. But look at this side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. Leon leaves. Shoals, oh, he's trying to squeeze him out. Nino tried to stick with it. He'll still have the slipstream through the Curva Grande. Can he make a move into the second chicane? Leon forced his way through, but Nino's fighting back. There's not much space for both of them here. Fair play, they actually do give each other enough room. They're going to go side by side into Lesmo 1. This is sensational action. But it looks like Leon's made his stick, but if he gets a poor exit, and Nino thinks better of throwing it down the inside into Lesmo 2. Because I don't think there'd have been enough room there for him. This is an incredible battle, but it's not really helping either of them in their fight for getting after Gavin. If anything, they're going to start coming under pressure from Furhan. This is all working perfectly for Gavin. He's now got over 5-second lead in front. And Nino's still desperate to get past Leon. This is a cracking battle between the pair of them. And you get the feeling that it's far from over. Either of them going to think about making a stop soon, I wonder. But look here, Leon's actually pulled a little bit of a margin here over Nino. So Nino clearly had a bit of a poor exit from the Parabolica, but closes up to him under braking as Cortez makes a pit stop. So I wonder, has he got any damage, or is it just a scheduled stop? I believe it's just scheduled. So Cortez pops on medium tyres and he will try and get to the end of a race from here. As Nino once again looks to make a move stick on Leon, but not quite close enough to make a move at the second chicane. This is a cracking battle between the pair of them. But it's allowing Furhan and even Lewis. I've got to say, Lewis is really impressive at the moment on those medium tyres. He's having a great stint in the Mercedes. And Rataka will soon be up to 6. Unfortunately, with Scholzkarv now being a ghost and his race being effectively over. The great thing for Gavin now is he doesn't have to react to anybody else making a stop as and Nino got a better exit out of Scaring and nearly made more contact. Is Nino going to try and move into Parabolica? Yes, he is. He goes down the inside. Leon's going to try and hang it round the outside again. These pair are going side by side all the time. And in fact, Leon's decided he wants enough of that battle and he's opted to pit. So, yeah, I think he just had enough at that point as Lewis has now got past Furhan. So Lewis passed Furhan and up into what is currently P3. And his stint could have been going much better if he asked it to, really. And he'll now try and set his sights on getting past Nino. He's been carving his way through the field, so he won't be worried at all as Leon goes onto the hard compound tyre. A little bit surprising, that. And I wonder if Nino and Furhan will opt to go for mediums. That could be interesting to see how that strategy plays out in the latter part of this race. This is probably the most, like, flat out these lot have been going, really, with all the battling that's been going on. As you'd expect, Leon's rejoined in some very nice clear air, so he can just push it now on those brand new hard compound tyres. And Lewis just looks he's absolutely flying at the moment. Attacker now up into P5, and he won't be too long as he's on the back of his teammate at this rate. What does Nino do? Nino pits, so he covers off. He covers off Leon straight away, but will he go for mediums or hards? The pit window is now open for mediums, but is he going to take a chance and go on him a lap early? Yes, he is. So Nino pits for mediums. I don't think he'll stay in front of Leon, though. Leon surely will have managed to get the undercut here. Let's find out. You can see Nino there clearing out the pits. No, I think Nino's got it. So Nino's done very well there in his in-lap and has managed to maintain the position over Leon. So that's worked out beautifully for the Racing Point driver. And he retakes a provisional second place. As we've got Gelato further down, who's moved his way past Kev on slightly older hard tyres. Gelato recovering, of course, after that front wing damage he had. And Leon's into the wall. Where's Leon gone off? Let's fall on board with Matt here. Doesn't look like we've got a safety car, but Leon's race is over. It must be on the exit of the second chicane. Yeah, I believe it is on the exit of the second chicane. That's an absolute disaster for Leon, and he was having such a good race. Oh no, there it is. As Matt, for some reason, decides to nearly run into it. That's weird. That's on the exit of the second Lesmo, so I wonder if he lost it on the gravel perhaps and went sliding into the wall. But either way, that's Leon's race over. From such a good position, he will be gutted after that. Hype Scholes is in the pits. Of course, that's his ghost though, so his race is already over, we know. So we've only really effectively got to 10 drivers left in the race now. And of course, Gavin chose that moment to pit for mediums. So he's in a pretty strong position. apparently Leon's... Okay, I don't know what's going on then. But anyway, we've got to focus on the race that's going on at the moment. Lewis is out in front, of course, having started on those medium compound tyres. Looks like there might be some confusion there in the F5 chat. Leon wanting the drivers to leave, but they're not leaving, so I don't really know if this is going to carry on or not, but we'll carry on commentating as if it is. So Gavin's really in a strong position at the moment. He's got just under 5 seconds buffer to Nino behind. And of course, all his top three have yet to stop. But Lewis as well is running a very solid race, and on soft tyres at the end, he really could come back into this. So he's the one to watch out for here, no question about it. Assuming, of course, that this is a race we're going to be carrying on with. We're getting more confirmation. Looks like the drivers need to leave at the moment. So it looks like this race shouldn't be carrying on for much longer. Not entirely sure as to the reasons why, but I guess we'll find out more. But at the moment, nobody's really left. So looks like there's a bit of miscommunication going on here. Puma up into third place for the time being. Apparently it's been set to regular corner cutting. That's the issue. Alright, so the lobby wasn't set up correctly, so apparently a restart should be imminent. Or it would be if anybody was leaving. Yeah, nobody will be looking. That's the problem. Everyone will be focusing on the race. This is the problem we've got. So this is a tricky situation at the moment. This race, I don't think it's going to count to anything, but nevertheless, we might as well bring you some action. In the meantime, Kev has stayed pretty close to the back of Gelato. And Puma, if anything, starting to catch Rataka, who, to say the championship leader, hasn't really shown a massive amount of pace. I wouldn't have said. Certainly not compared to Lewis, who's on the same strategy. I think Hype Shoals is trying to get her attention now. Like I said, this is a very unusual scenario. We are, of course, over halfway into this race, so it's a bit of a tricky one. I did wonder why we'd not seen any corner cutting penalties pop up, because this is one of those circuits where they are quite prominent. So, slightly odd in that sense, but now it makes more sense. Well, we're now on to lap 15 of a race. We've got Lewis out in front. In fact, we've got a battle going on as Kev goes down the inside of Gelato into the first chicane and retakes that place. So he retakes what is currently 7th place. Those two having a really good scrap, but we are getting into uncharted territory here. Yeah, it doesn't look like they reacted to what you did, Shoals. It's like they're all still going about their business as normal. I've not seen, nobody else is retired, nobody else does. I don't think everyone still seems to be going flat out. We've got Rataka now in the pits, which I assume will be for soft tyres, likewise with Puma. Yeah, someone does need to spam the messages now, really. I mean, I'd do it myself, but obviously I'm a standing commentator for tonight, so I don't have access to their PSN chat. I'm not in it, so unfortunately, I can't do that myself. As Ritaka rejoins out the pits just in front of the ever-battling Kev and Gelato. Scholes, I've just got to give massive credit to your ghost car. It's just got fastest lap, so nice one there. And Lewis still out there pounding on. Nino's closed the gap in a little bit to Gavin, so starting to come back at the provisional race leader. But look at Lewis, only 16 seconds. Well, 16 seconds ahead of the provisional leader, and he's of course going to be able to go into faster tyres, so that's working out pretty well for Lewis. Depending what's going to happen here. I mean, we are getting to that stage where it's quite likely we might get all 27 laps done, and then everyone sees the messages. So, don't know what happens in that instance. We shall see. Go back to the battle in Kev and Gelato. Might as well give you some action, even if it doesn't count for anything in the end, as Gelato moves down the inside. These two have been going at it for a while now, and in fact they've got Puma joining in as well on soft tyres, so this could get very messy potentially. Puma going right around the outside of Kev, and he'll now fancy his chances of outbreaking Gelato into the second chicane. He thinks better of it, but he's got one position done there as the dueling pair have finally been separated. Ritaka has rejoined and is now less than a second behind Cortez on fresh soft, so he'll be in a good position as Puma here is going to comfortably make an overtake stick on Gelato, and he's looking like he's got very good pace at this stage. As Lewis pits now from the race lead, so Lewis will go on to soft tyres. Now, it'll be interesting where he rejoins. I imagine it'll be just behind Nino, if I had to say. Let's have a look. It indeed is behind Nino. It's actually a little bit further behind Nino than I thought, but it's still comfortably ahead of the next car. So Lewis rejoins in third on soft tyres, so he's looking very strong at this stage of the race. I'm just going to have to repeat this, all might count for nothing, as Ritaka takes P4 from Cortez, as he also makes his way through on fresh soft tyres. It might be difficult for Ritaka to make any further progress though, because the next car ahead of him that isn't on softs is 10 seconds up the road, and I've got to be honest, he hasn't looked like showing amazing pace at any stage of this race. But nevertheless, if he gets fourth, that'd still be some solid points towards the championship. Gavin still has a 4-second lead. Lewis will quickly catch Nino, you suspect. If he can get past Nino quickly, Lewis still has a chance of winning this race, which would be quite sensational considering. And infuriating after the race, I'm sure, but... if you crash, make a safety card and might look at phones. It's not the worst idea. Although if they have now decided to just carry on with the race as normal, you might get into trouble. I don't know. I don't know what Leon's saying. I'm guessing he still wants them to retire, but we've got Furhan now, who's looking to move past Kev into turn 1. But can't quite make the move stick right now. If you do crash, so Scholes, don't be careful you don't take anyone with you. Oh, to be fair, I'll make that person look at their phone. Some timing things messing up here as Furhan has got the move done on Kev. I want to follow Lewis now because I imagine he's we're gonna see Nino. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. So you've done that, I suppose. I don't know if that's going to be enough to make them look at their phones, though. Well, we'll see. It's not telling me it's a virtual safety car. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, we're back underway now. And I guess the trick is here, has anyone actually noticed anything suspicious? The fact that you keep rejoining and leaving would ring alarm bells in my mind anyway. But still, to me, it looks like they're continuing on as if nothing's happened. So, we shall see, of course. We've got Matt in the pits. What's he doing? He's been on those mediums for 15 laps, though, so he could just be pitting routinely. What's Fairhan up to? I think he's just been overtaken. And again, they're just racing normally. Yeah, Matt's onto softs. That's quite normal as Fairhan loses it on the exit of the first Lesmo. And does very well to avoid contact with the wall, actually, I have to say. But he's not having the race he would have hoped. Well, Lewis is now right on the back of Nino. I've got to admit, it did look to me earlier on like Leon's car hadn't exactly crashed, let's put it that way. I just assumed he had because I didn't see any other reason why he would have, of course, parked at the side of the road, obviously not knowing what I know now. It just seemed like the most logical thing that could have happened to Leon. But yeah, it didn't look like the car had crashed. I guess it was just one of those things where you sort of assume it has, because you know, you wouldn't expect for him to park up at the side of a road unless, you know, something had happened. So yeah, but Lewis now trying to make a move on Nino and does so. That's a great move. Gotta say, whether this race stands or not, that's a cracking move around the outside of the second chicane. Lewis is driving an absolutely superb race. Him and Gavin especially will be gutted when they realise what's happened. Of course, this is not the fault of any of theirs, you know. It's a really difficult situation. And I guess we're going to find out what's going to happen afterwards. But Gavin still leads, but he's only got a 3.4 second lead now, and Lewis is charging him down. So it's going to make for an interesting finale to this race. Nino's looking pretty secure in third. Obviously, we haven't got to worry about penalties in this instance, of course, with it being on regular corner cutting by accident. Now, could Puma catch up to Ritaka? He really has been hounding that Red Bull throughout the race. So that could be an interesting battle. We've got Gelato, who might be looking at a move here on Cortez, but not quite close enough to make a move stick at the first chicane. Gelato just seems to have constantly been involved in battles this race. Unfortunately, the downside of that is that ultimately you end up losing pace because you're not driving flat out. Gelato right behind Cortez, and I have to say it's quite impressive. Of course, Cortez has been on those medium tyres for 12 laps. You suspect this will start to go off soon, and Gelato might be in a better position now. You can see already Lewis has brought the gap down to front for just 2.1 seconds. Puma's nearly into Ritaka's DRS zone, so that will be another battle that I think we'll see unfold very shortly. And this would be a good opportunity again for Gelato. We'll go on board with him. He's firmly in the DRS zone of the car in front. Gelato makes the move stick quite easily, actually. Didn't even need to outbrake him at the corner. Already got the move done halfway down the pit straight. Gelato up to 6th place. So for anyone who is just tuning in, we are having a bit of a unfortunate circumstance in this race. I believe Leon is trying to get everyone to back out, but unfortunately, of course, because everyone's racing, they're not looking at their Discord or their PSN messages. Because unfortunately, this race was set to regular corner cutting by accident. So, fortunately, now we are very, very deep into this race. So I don't know what's going to happen following this one, but I'll see this through to the end of this race. At least I want to give you guys a full race, even if it doesn't account to anything. I think we have got some potentially very interesting battles lined up in the last couple of laps. And one we're going to look at right now is Puma, who is right on the back now of the championship leader Attacker. This battle for 4th place. Dino looks very secure in 3rd. So this is just all about who can get to the 4th place here today. And look at that, Puma's just out-dragged Attacker quite comfortably. And takes 4th place. Very nice stuff from Puma. Oh, bit of a wobble on exit. Will Attacker have a potential chance to get him into the 2nd chicane? No, I don't think he's close enough. So that's not going to work out for him at this point. Let's go with the battle for the lead then. Lewis is now right up behind Gavin. Both drivers have driven a sensational race. You know, I do feel very much sorry for them with what will most likely happen here. And both of them have done a great job, and I hope for their sake it doesn't get taken away from them. But they won't be focusing on any of that right now. They probably don't even know about it. So, yep, this is a battle for the lead. Lewis on the fresher, better tyres. He's been charging Gavin down for a while now. And Gavin, who's been in control of this race for pretty much throughout, is now going to come under threat from Lewis, who didn't even start inside the top 10. This is incredible. Lewis is going for it. Not quite close enough this occasion. Oh, but look at that. That's a really clumsy route through turns 1 and 2 there for Gavin, and that's going to put him really at the prey of the Mercedes here. In fact, I'm really surprised Lewis isn't closer when he is. He's not quite close enough on this occasion, but it looks like he was going to be right up behind him on the exit there. So what can Lewis do here? He's undoubtedly got more pace at this stage of the race. Gavin, who held the lead for so long, will not want to give it up, but that was a poor exit out of the 2nd Lesmo. This is an excellent opportunity now for Lewis to make a move into Ascari. He's not using overtake. He's got the DRS, but that's not enough. Gavin obviously strategically using his ERS deployment. How much has he got left? He's not actually got that much, so if Lewis can stay close enough here onto the pit straight and use his overtake, he's going to be in an excellent position to take the lead of a race. It's all about the exit from the Parabolica. He's getting really close. He's using his overtake as you would expect. This is going to be his best opportunity yet, I suspect. Yep, he's right in the toe of the Williams. Gavin goes defensive. It's all he can do. They're going to go side by side into the 1st chicane, but Lewis has got the move done before they enter the braking zone. And ultimately, Lewis just had that little bit too much speed down the straight. Gavin perhaps using his ERS up slightly earlier there, and that really cost him. And in the end, I guess you could say there wasn't much that Gavin could do to stop that. Both drivers have done an excellent job here today, but Lewis has driven a sensational race and takes the lead. What can Gavin do to fight back? He's still in within DRS. He won't be giving this up. And we've got just over a lap here to see if Gavin can fight back against the race leader. Further down, we've also got Ritaka still very much on the back of Puma, so that battle could still very much not be over either. What can Gavin do? Has he saved up any? No, he hasn't really got much ERS saved either. We're just going through Parabolica now for the penultimate time. There'll just be one more lap at the end of this. Lewis is just one lap away from, I believe, I'm just going to double check this. I believe. I'm just double checking. Yeah, Lewis is a lap away from becoming our 7th different winner in 7 races. That's quite sensational in the F5 League. So competitive to have 7 different races from the first 7 different winners, sorry, from the first 7 races. And Lewis could very much be making it happen. And we've got further behind, look at this, Ritaka coming back at Puma. They're going side by side for the first couple of corners. Puma almost onto the grass there, but he's managed to maintain the position. Ritaka's going to try and fight back now into the second chicane. Oh, nearly goes wide there, Puma. Ritaka's going to have the move done though. Broke slightly later to make it stick. Ritaka's back up into 4th place, and that's a slight surprise because it looked to me like Puma had too much pace for him, but fair play to Ritaka, stuck in there and has got that 4th place straight back. And hopefully now, for his sake, he can hold on to it. We've only got half a lap to go. We're going to go back to the race leader, and Lewis is coming up to Parabolica. He's driven an excellent race. We don't know what's going to happen afterwards, but all I can say is Lewis has done a great job here and now, and he takes the provisional win here at the F5 Italian Grand Prix. Gavin is in 2nd. Nino will take 3rd. We've got Ritaka just holding off Puma. Puma's still going for it on the exit of Parabolica. Nearly loses the car in his efforts, but Ritaka does keep hold of 4th place. We've then got Gelato coming through for 6th. Cortez in 7th. We've got a potentially very interesting scrap to the flag here for 8th, but it looks like Kev's going to hold off Furhan. And then we got Matt a long way behind in 10th place. So congratulations to Lewis. That was an absolutely excellent drive. You look here quickly, like he gained 10 positions, started 11th, went for the alternate strategy, and he's ultimately, I think the thing that won him that race was his medium tyre stint. His stint on the medium tyres, and the way he went through the field was completely brilliant. Absolutely well deserved for him. Driver of the day for the game, driver of the day for me as well. I can't fault Lewis's job there. An excellent performance, and I hope for his sake anyway that this result does stand, because he did nothing wrong. He drove an excellent race, and it would of course make it, as I said, 7 different winners from 7 races. Great job from Gavin as well, led from the front, but ultimately just didn't quite have that extra little bit of pace to really pull the gap he would have needed to hold Lewis off, but still an excellent result for him. Nino collecting his first points of the season with an excellent podium as well. You got Ritaka, Puma, Gelato, Cortez, Kevin 8th, Furhan just didn't have a good day at the office in 9th, and neither did Matt, who got fastest lap in the end but was caught up. Had a collision early on and ultimately was playing catch up from there. Had to make 2 stops and finished in 10th. Got Scholes, who DNF'd, Hyde, who also DNF'd, and Leon, who I believe pulled over to the side of the road in the hope that we would have a restart, but that hasn't happened. But I can't fault the job Lewis has done today. He did a cracking job. Well done to all the podium finishers, Lewis, Gavin and Nino. I do hope those who tuned in, you have enjoyed this race. You know, we did get some great action there, which was good to see. A cracking battle for the lead that went down to the last few laps. And it's been an eventful one for sure. And hopefully we'll get all this sorted over the coming days. Hopefully we can have either ultimately a decision on what's going to happen next. But that's it from me. It's been the F5 League here at Monza. Be sure to join us next week, where I believe we are racing at Hanoi for the very first time. Hopefully you'll have Felix and Jack back with you for that one. But in the meantime, my name's been Jake. This has been F7, and until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.